Well, if you're thinking of moving to Oregon's Willamette Valley, but Salem, Oregon is not quite right for you, there are a lot of other great alternative towns and cities here in the Mid-Valley that are great options. And today we are in Dallas, Oregon, which is actually one of my favorite alternative cities to Salem, Oregon. So, like we always do, let's talk about the city a little bit and look at a few houses and a few different price ranges. Let's get right to it. Well, if you're new to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Salem, Oregon, Dallas, Oregon, and the surrounding area, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be the first to learn about the current market here in the area. My name is Ryan, and I'm a real estate agent here in the area. And I get calls, texts, and emails all the time from people just like you who are thinking of moving to Dallas, Oregon, or other areas in the Willamette Valley. So whether you need to move in a day, a week, a month, or a year, feel free to give me a call, text, email. I'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to the area. Well, today we are exploring Dallas, Oregon. Now, Dallas, Oregon is here on the west side of Salem, on the west side of the Willamette Valley, just about 30 minutes outside of Salem. You also have Corvallis to the south and McMinnville to the north. So Dallas is one of the larger small cities here in the Central Valley. Now, of course, Salem is your main city at around, I think, 174,000, 175,000 in population. And it quickly drops off in city size after Salem. And you have Albany as your kind of mid-sized city for the area. And then you really drop off into the smaller areas. So Dallas is a bigger city, but it's still really small. It's only 18 to 19,000 in population, so it's about 10% the size of Salem, just to give you a little reference. So if you're looking for that small city, small town feel, you're definitely going to find it here in Dallas. Now, 18,000 might sound small to you, but it's actually been growing quite rapidly for the past decade, and it was quite a bit smaller just a few years ago. And so you see a lot of new construction and a lot of expansion here in Dallas, as it is a up and coming and growing city. And we are currently in the city center of Dallas, and this is the historical area and one of the two retail areas here in Dallas. And you're gonna find some boutiques, a few gyms. We're about a block off still from the courthouse, which is really the focal point of the city center, but it's not a very big area. It doesn't go very wide. It really is just here along Main Street, and you have some restaurants and again some of those boutique shopping areas. There is the public charter school, Dallas Community School. I'll talk more about the other schools here in a bit, but it is a nice, quaint little downtown area. Again, not a whole lot to it. The other main retail area is off of Ellendale and Kings Valley Highway. And now this is your bigger retail area with some of your convenience stores and grocery stores. And you have a Walmart, a Safeway, a grocery outlet, Goodwill, Dollar Tree. There's several restaurants, automotive stores, banks, and things of that sort over there. There is a farming store out in the south part of the city, and it's kind of by itself. And that is basically your shopping areas for Dallas. So you don't have a lot of options in Dallas, but considering the size of Dallas, it is pretty good. So people definitely aren't flocking to Dallas for luxury shopping, but you have what you need for the basics. And again, you're only 25 minutes out of Salem, so if you need other things, you can always go there. Now, with most small communities, you get quite a few community events going on, and some of their biggest events are going to be Rock the Square, their Bounty Market, which is their farmers market, the Red White Boom, Crazy Days, and Miracle on Main Street. I have some friends that live here in Dallas, and while I was researching this video, I asked them what their favorite things to do on a date night here in Dallas were, and they basically told me they like to go to Salem or Independence for date nights because there's not really a lot of upscale restaurants or just things that they like to do out here. There are a few restaurants they like to go to, like the Dallas Bar and Grill, and there's a Thai restaurant up here at the edge of the downtown. I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but there are a few things here. But if they're going for a date night, they usually go to Salem because there's a few more upscale restaurants and a lot more variety in Salem. There are a few city amenities here, and there are quite a few other amenities and things to do in and around the area. Dallas has a really nice aquatic center with water slides and some lap lanes for swimming. They have a lot of community outreach events, and there's even some passes to go explore some of the museums and other activities around in the area. So if you live here, you definitely get some clicked into that, and the passes to go view the other museums and such are found at the public library. And Dallas also has a really nice city park. The biggest one is Dallas City Park. It has a really cool disc golf course on it. It has barbecue pits. There's a river that goes through with a really nice swimming hole. Very popular, and again, a nice area here in Dallas. And lastly, just wanted to mention the public school system here in Dallas. Now, since it's not that big of a city, they only have one high school, which is the Dallas High School. And Dallas High School comes in at a B- grade. I think I was on niche.com. It does pretty well for the area, and it has 890-ish students, and it has a pretty good teacher-student ratio of 19:1. So I think that's a little bit better than most of your Salem schools. And then there's one middle school and 3 elementary schools. Dallas also has a few alternative schools, including that public charter school that we passed earlier, the Dallas Community School, which is an alternative school for kids that don't quite learn well in the traditional classroom environment and need more of a community learning environment. So there are quite a few options here in Dallas, and of course there are also several private charter schools, and most of these are religious charter schools. Well, we have pretty much come here to the end of the downtown area here on Main Street. So I think we have covered Dallas fairly well. And of course, like we always do, let's go look at a few houses in a few different price ranges. Well, we are in our first neighborhood, and we are just a little ways out of downtown. Now, I don't remember if I mentioned it, but Dallas is actually turning 150 years old this year. And so you can expect to find quite a few older homes in the area. And since Dallas is expanding and you have new construction, you usually find those on the outer edges of Dallas, and these areas closer to the city center are usually where you find the older homes. So this home we're looking at now is actually built in 1925, so it's actually coming up on its 100th birthday here next year. And that's kind of a similar story with a lot of these houses in the area. So if you're looking for newer homes, definitely aren't going to find them right here in the city center, but you can find quite a few older homes here in the city center. There's some pros and cons. If you really like those older historic homes, this is where you're going to find them. But they are in older neighborhoods. Sometimes you kind of have to be picky with what houses you go with, because sometimes the neighbors haven't kept up quite as well. And just kind of what you get with these older neighborhoods that aren't in HOAs. The neighbor next door could be kind of run down, or it could be a really nice updated remodeled house. But the house we're looking at today is just this one right here behind me. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath listed at $325,000. Now that is kind of the starting price range here in Dallas. You can usually find them for $325,000, $350,000 for these starter homes. They're more updated than this one is, and maybe a little bit better location than this one is, then they're going to be maybe a little smaller or a little expensive. But anyways, this is kind of what you get. This one is quite a bit bigger than what you typically find though. It's at a little bit over 1,700 square feet, which takes the price per square foot to $190 per square foot. But there is not much more to this neighborhood, so let's get on to the next one. Well, we are in the next little neighborhood here, and we are on the southern edge of Dallas, and we are actually on the very edge. As you can see, just right down this little subdivision road, there's actually a farm and some trees back there for some timberland. So again, right on that very edge, you get this really nice, quiet community. This neighborhood is a little bit farther away from the industrial areas, whereas the last one was a little bit more mixed use. So this one has a little bit higher of a price point, and you might be able to tell that most of the houses here have a little bit of upkeep. So just a little bit more of a established area here in Dallas. Again, the house we're looking at is still fairly old. Actually, the house right next to it is also for sale, or was also for sale. I think it's already under contract. But the house we are looking at is this next one here, And it has been on the market for a little bit just because I think it's a little unique and not quite what everyone is looking for, just in the build style and layout. But it is this house right here behind us, this little nice white one. And it is a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom. It is a larger house. It's right at 1,672 square feet. They're currently asking $435,000 for it. I think they have $100 off there, but pretty much $435,000. Again, it's beautifully remodeled. It is older, about 80 years old, and just overall a really nice updated house, just a little unique. It does have an option to put a 3rd bedroom in one of those rooms, but right now they're just not set up for it. This house is on a little bit more than 1/3 of an acre. But again, I mentioned that your price point is a little bit higher in this neighborhood, and that price per square foot is actually at $260. So if you are looking around in Dallas, Oregon, but don't want that new construction, this is kind of some of the neighborhoods you're going to find, just these really older, quiet neighborhoods. While this house is pretty unique in its layout, it is fairly standard as far as like the neighborhood and the size of the lot you get. This one's right at about 1/3 of an acre, which is not very uncommon when you are here in Dallas. So if you're looking for a bigger lot size, and maybe you've been searching in Salem, but you're not really finding it, maybe try looking out here in Dallas. If you're in these older neighborhoods, not the new construction neighborhoods, but the neighborhoods that have been around for a little while, these bigger lot sizes are very common. Well, that is a good summary for this house. Let's get on to the next one. Well, since new construction is such a big part of the Dallas real estate market, I couldn't help but show you at least a few of the options that are available here in Dallas. Now, there is a lot going on, and the biggest developer right now is Fowler Homes, and this is their Highland Glen subdivision. And there is this row of houses that are available, coming soon, sold. There are both single family homes, and then there are townhome style houses, and there are empty fields over there, which means there is more coming here in the future also. So a lot going on here in Dallas, and a lot of different options for whatever you need. Again, townhome style, single family homes, and they really go from all price ranges. This one right here is kind of their base model starter home package. Is $362,990, is a 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,070 square feet, with a price per square foot of $339 per square foot. Now, these are brand new houses. This one is already finished. Some of the other ones down here are still getting the finishing touches worked on. But actually, once they're finished, they do offer a few incentives, so they can do some buy downs for your rate, or you can probably work out a few different things depending on what your personal situation is. But again, a brand new construction house, and you can probably tell a very different feel from those older neighborhoods we were just looking at. But this is really where the lifeblood of the real estate market is here in Dallas, Oregon right now, just because of all this new growth. The resale market just isn't keeping up, so these builders are stepping in and providing some options for people that are really desperate to find something. But that is it for this particular spot, but we have one more to check out, so let's go over there. Well, here we are at our last stop of the day, and we are still in a new construction area, still by Fowler Homes, but hopefully you can tell it is a little bit different of a community, and that is because we are actually in a 55 plus retirement community here. So again, brand new construction, house is still being built. Everything behind me, all the way down to the end of the street, is already built and sold, but there are a few here on the corner of the street that are still being built. But this is actually an HOA community, but it has really good low HOA fees between $135, $120, depending on the lot size, which are not big because they're expecting retirement communities probably want a little bit smaller, so they don't have to quite take care of it as much. overall, your landscaping is mostly covered with your monthly HOA fee. But the house we are checking out today is this one here at the end of the street. There's also one for sale on the other side. It's a little bit smaller and on a corner lot, so it's a little bit more expensive per square foot, just because the lot size is a little bit bigger. So this one comes in actually a more expensive house, but a little cheaper per square foot. So it really depends on what you're looking for. But this house is listed at $555,840. I'm not sure why they always do the weird price points here, but they do. This house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This is one of the bigger houses. It's 1,674 square feet, which takes the price per square foot to $332 per square foot. And as you can imagine, retirement community, most of these houses are single level. So you don't have many stairs, maybe a stair or two into the garage. But even that is fairly minimal. And again, trying to keep most of these houses fairly flat. There are a few around the corner, which I think are more custom built homes that have a second floor. But in this Eden Glen community, most of them are going to be single level. Well, if you're thinking of moving to the Dallas, Oregon area, or really any area here in the mid-Willamette Valley, feel free to give me a call, text, or email. I'd be happy to chat with you and see how we can help you get to a house here in the area. We really love helping you guys relocate to the area. So for now, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope to show you around town.